Okay, so today I'm going to be cleaning this 10-gallon tank. Ooh. These are just the basics what I use. There you can see the Seachem Prime, that's the water conditioner I use. Paper towel. My little siphon hose. And if you need it, a bucket to refill water. Or if you're lucky like I am and right around the corner from the bathroom, you can empty it directly into the tub. Okay, I also, when it comes to refilling, there's my water that's getting ready. And this I use for refilling, a simple measuring cup, and I use a tiny colander just to make sure the water doesn't mess up the sand in the bottom of my tank too much. Makes life easier. Okay, to get started, first unplug the heater, because if it's exposed to air too much, it can crack because it'll overheat. And now you can start it by using the hose to move it up and down. I'm going to start it using the good old-fashioned method of and into the bucket. Now I am putting water in a bucket because I'm also going to do filter cleaning here. So that is the way I start the hose, and then I just move the siphon hose above the sand and suck up whatever's going on in there. Okay, now if you have a sand bottom tank, you need to stir the sand periodically or it can collect things like ammonia pockets. So I just do this by sticking my fingers into it. Not high tech, but pretty easy to do. Just gets it all sort of stirred around and then scoot the sand back. The clouds coming out are from this here. That is my driftwood piece, so these here, those are some peas I put for the fish in today, so I want them to stay in the tank. So they don't need to come out. But you just sort of move this around the top of the sand and get all the little floaties. Don't worry if your fish are nervous about the siphon hose at the start. They will eventually get used to it. As you can see, these guys are not intimidated. If anything, I tend to play dodge the fish. So, and this is just, you just drain this down until you get the whatever amount of water you want out, and you're all good. Okay, so now I need to remove I use a sponge filter, so I need to take it out and rinse it off. You do this by emptying old tank water into a bucket and then just sort of gently swishing it and squeezing it out a little. It's not hard to do, just takes a little time and you're good to go again after this. Some people will rinse them under the tap. That will take a lot of your good bacteria off of the sponge. So your tank may mini cycle if you do that, which means the levels of ammonia and nitrates may go up a little, but if it's really bad, sometimes you need to. So in there. Freshly, gently squeezed sponge filter. You just stick that back in the tank. I'll hook the air line back in. And it's all good to go. And while this is draining down, a lot of people also ask about wiping decorations and things. Well, I say is unless the decorations are looking kind of nasty and covered in algae, I wouldn't worry about it. I just leave them the way they are. And easy way just to clean the glass, a little piece of paper towel and just wipe off whatever's on there. Nothing fancy. He's a little autocat. Little dude. So now I have this tank is full of live plants, and I've got a little algae eater in here, but okay. And now is a good time also to, if you need to, you wipe any leaves off. Just sort of gently take the leaf and wipe. And if you've got any plant leaves that are dead or need to be removed, just gently take the dead leaves off. So that's pretty much all I do for pruning and maintenance. Little siphon hose, collect up particles. Yeah, this is a good time for if there's anything you want adjusted, just adjust it a little bit. Okay, so I pre-filter all my water because the water here really sucks. So, it just makes it easier, and it gets rid of all the chlorine really fast. I have 2 buckets of water here waiting to go. And now I'm about ready to refill the tank. Oh, and just to stop emptying it, I gently lifted the suction hose out and let gravity do its thing. So now, before I start putting this in, even though I know it's pre-filtered, I usually put this stuff, just a little bit of this stuff in each of the buckets, kind of let it swirl itself around. And to refill, let me flip to the other side here, I just pour it through the colander, because pouring this full force on the tank will make it go, the sand go everywhere, and that's just not a good thing. And filling, and more filling, almost to the end of the first bucket. Whoop! And filling. And just about done. Okay. The last step's turn the tank lights back on. Grab this towel, wipe down the water off the front, around here. Make sure she looks all purty. And if you have plants like I do that like to flop with a water change, just sort of go in and straighten those guys back up. And it's a touch foggy now, but it should clear right up. And that is how I do a tank change. Oh yes, and remember to plug the heater back in.